My fellow Dronikins, there comes a time in everyone's life when they put out a review and they don't have flight footage. It happens. I tried just to get it out, and I'm sorry. So this video is to rectify that mistake and give some flight footage, which is freaking awesome. So it's on the Diatone Eachine TBS Unify Run Cam Hybrid Monster. So here's some flight video followed by a PSA that is very, very serious. As serious as anything I've ever said in my entire life. It is very serious. You must just skip to the end to watch the PSA and then watch the flights, because that's how important this PSA is. So here we are outside on a beautiful day, and I realized I'm flying a 1500 milliamp battery, which is way too large for this, but it flies phenomenally well with this. I also realized I'm flying on Profile 3 of the PIDs, which are much tighter than Profile 1, which most people would start off flying on. This is also the very first flight other than my hover test, which took me 5 seconds. So I started off a little bit lower voltage than I would have just because of the hover. But as you can see, camera is, holy cow. I am now a firm believer micro swift. I have not seen a camera that's better. I'm flying right now at 25 milliwatts, and it is a good picture for this little area, and I normally get some breakup anyway just due to the trees and just where I am. But I'm going to land here in a second and kick it up to 600 milliwatts. So yeah, really simple with smart audio. You just flip it left and up and just go down, hit your transmitter, change it over. One thing I did notice with upping the power is that as soon as I set it and confirmed it, I ended up going black, so I had to do a channel scan. And I went ahead and rebooted my flight controller, and we are going back up. By the way, that overage is due to the capacitor, so if you're not used to those, they will jump your voltage up a little higher than normal. But we're back up in the air and just flying around. Like I say, this is with that heavier battery, so I'm not getting any prop wash that I see. I am running 8K 2K, which is how the Diatone comes out of the box, just to see how it ran. And I'm not getting prop wash, and I'm noticing that with the heavier battery, it's still responsive as heck, but it's a little floaty, so it feels heavier than you'd expect, and almost flies like a 5-inch that is... sometimes you can just get some good inertia going. I did notice this one did not pull as many amps as the Diatone ER349 HD Mark II that pulled up to 50. Out of this one, this is a much hotter day. It was almost 90 or 95 degrees, and I was only pulling about 30 amps, 22 to 30 amps, so not even close to the 52 that I got on the other version. And one thing I'm noticing with this that I really like, this is the first quad in a long time that I've had that had powerful motors on it and one of the micro stacks and no lines. Like even the Tiro that had a capacitor and the other GTR 349 that had a capacitor, I always had lines. This is by far the cleanest video I have ever had, and I'm seriously impressed. I didn't know if it would be worth the extra $20 for the TBS version with the Eachine mix, but holy cow. So yeah, and from now on, my go-to is going to be this Swift Run Cam along with the TBS Unify. The thing was like 20 bucks, so just for a few dollars more for a good VTX, I didn't think it would make flying this much better, but it does. I'm woefully and just wow. Like you can pause it and just any of these screen grabs, unless YouTube messes it up, you can even tell where the grass is and where I missed mowing. Like that's amazing. So anyway, yeah, back to it. I did realize this is the Profile 3 PIDs, which are much higher P, same I and D. They just have a much higher P gain, so you will get some different mid-throttle oscillations, and every now and then if you go around, which I was able to correct pretty easily by just switching to 8K and carrying a little bit of throttle through instead of doing the drop. You know, most people drop to 0 and then they kick back up, and that causes some bounciness, whatever. But it was nothing that I've never experienced. Like, it's something I've experienced before, and it wasn't anything that was concerning at all. Motors came down perfectly cool, as cool as they can be on a 90-degree day, which is freaking hot. And battery came down pretty much hating me. Like, I have to say, it was definitely pounding the battery, but not in a bad way. Nothing dangerous or anything. It was just, you know how it goes. You just your battery comes down warm. I was using cheap SOP batteries, so I'm not blaming the quad for that at all. The 349 didn't do it, but I also haven't flown it in 95-degree weather. Overall, I can't say too much. I have nothing negative to say with this quad, and I'm really, like, I don't know. I thought I loved the 349 HD version, but having this camera and this VTX just makes a whole different flight experience. The Stretch X frame, the only thing I don't like about it is seeing the props in view like this. Oh, we're coming to the end of this battery. 4.5 minutes, not too bad. So I'm putting this up. This is actually the 349 HD version with the Cadix camera, and I just want to show you. This is with the Runcam TX200 running at 200, but you'll notice the lines and just lack of clarity, which honestly, without seeing the Runcam micro swift, I call this good video. This is what I was used to. So for comparison, this is a completely different ball game when you use that micro swift. It is, man, I'm literally linking the swift down below just because I liked it that much, along with everything else, but I'm blown away. So we're back to switch back over now. So this is actually with Profile 1 that I was talking about, and at first I thought that my quad, I thought I'd messed something up because I just switched over and used 8K, did not realize I switched to Profile 1, and the PIDs are so much looser. So this is what you can expect, a little bit more out of the box. Now, I was able to figure out that it was my fingers and the PIDs. I literally thought something was wrong because the quad felt so different. But I lasted about 15 seconds before I thought I'm just going to land and switch over. So we're jumping over to my last pack, which is on a 750 ZOP 4S, and I'm always careful when I take off because I'm actually under my porch, and I have put a dent in my gutter before by shooting to the moon, so a little careful there. But anyway, I did include two full packs pretty much on this, because in my review I didn't have any of this footage available, which sucked, and I was just wanting to show with the 750 pack, this thing just comes to life. These are on the 3052 gem fans, and it totally opens up. If you're flying with the like a larger pack that's heavier, you can get some floaty 5-inch. You can actually smooth it out, and I've learned you can do a lot of different tricks with it that you normally can't do with a 3-inch because they feel like a 3-inch and not a 5-inch. But with this lighter pack, it just becomes a whole other beast of just light and fast. And with that VTX, I'm blown away. Like, I can say a lot of good things about it, and I will, and I'll continue to talk about it because it is great. And pulls about 4.5 to 5 Gs. And just that camera is just blowing my mind. I think I wouldn't be so impressed probably if I'd seen other Swift cameras and used them before, but I was just shocked whenever I saw. So what happened really? Let me go backtrack a little bit here to Banggood reached out and said, hey, would you like to review this quad? And I saw it and went, you're telling me Diatone mixed with Eachine, which at the end of this video has a PSA on the Eachine Wizard. They're not a bad brand. I like Eachine. They push they make it affordable, and I like Eachine, but their quality is sometimes questionable. And I looked at it and I went, okay, so you have Diatone mixed with Eachine, mixed with TBS, which is an amazing company, mixed with Runcam, which produces some great stuff. And I'm going to give this a chance. I'm a little hesitant and whatnot, but it was like, okay, this is a stretch X frame. It's 135 is what it says, but it's actually 142 due to how the X is stretched. It's 110 by 140, I believe. And I just didn't quite understand why Diatone Eachine Runcam and Diatone Eachine Runcam and TBS would team up. And I didn't know how good the quad would be. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. Heck yeah, especially for that price, 150 for what looked to be quality components with the Mamba stack and the 1408 motors that I already loved. So yeah, I'll try this out. And I gotta say, this is the first quad I've ever had that made me. I'm going to have to redo my beginner level. What would I buy if I were just getting into FPV? Because at first, it was like everyone wanted a 5-inch. And then I love the Leader 120. I still feel like that is the best beginner quad ever because you can see and you can fly and crash and not damage anything. But once you step out of that, literally $150 gets you into another class of quads that just unbelievable. This thing easily does 100 and Kebab says 110, and I have no reason to doubt him with good batteries. And it's maneuverable, it's quiet, it's fast, it doesn't intimidate people. The picture is insane. The VTX is insane. So as far as the cost to quality ratio, I mean, it's amazing. I just ran out of battery there. Let me switch one more pack. So I know I'm killing my YouTube analytics because there's no way anyone's sitting through 3 full boring packs of me testing a quad, but I thought I would do it anyway. This is actually the second flight that I did with the lighter battery to see, just how it is. So this is 8K, 2K on that Profile 3 that I was talking about. And yeah, once again, like I say, when Banggood reached out to say, oh, here's an Eachine Diatone TBS Unify and Runcam freaking zombie beast, would you like to review it? I'm like, sure, that matches. Yeah, that matches a lot of what I like. And put the price, at 150. It's 170 off sale, but I don't think I've seen it off sale yet. I actually believe they'll probably sell out of these. They are just so good. But whenever they said, do you want to review it? I'm like, sure. And I got it. And I was actually nervous to fly it just to see. But anyway, back to where I was. Before I changed packs over, I got kind of mesmerized by my own flying there. But yeah, if I'm looking at, oh, geez, that was fast. Yeah, if I'm looking at what I would recommend for anybody as far as getting into quads, this one goes to the very top of my list after the Leader 120 or something in that smaller range that's a little safer. This one's still powerful and probably rip you to shreds if you got hit with it, but it's small enough, light enough. The frame is pure quality. Like, I'm impressed with Diatone's quality. Just build on everything. They're amazing. Holy cow, they seal it. Carbon fiber looks great. It's cut right. It's just everything about it. Holy cow, that is fast. It's just cut right. It's a beautifully made quad. So I'm going to kind of just wrap this up by saying, holy cow, this is by far, I love the HD version. If the HD could come with this type of camera, I would be blown away by it. But I understand Caddx is a little bit different. Caddx makes great cameras too, do not get me wrong. But this is a whole other level. And for the price, this is beyond anything I really expected out of just a small quad that's made with quality components. This gets my fat and emphatically stamping it good. Like, holy cow, it's good. It comes out of the box flying like this. I haven't changed much except for my rates, and their rate setup's a little weird. But I will say I can't really tell much of a difference between this and the regular X frame. I've heard that the racer frames, the stretch decks, are a little better in cornering and tightness and whatnot. I would tell you I feel far more confident with this. That gap between the tree and my porch is only a few feet wide. It looks a lot wider than it is in this camera. But the one on the right there, that gap on the left now, it's very narrow and something I would never hit with speed. But with this camera, I'm feeling it. Like, I don't know. That's been my gap to the hit. It's like I only feel comfortable doing that with a smaller Leader quad, not with something like this. But this one makes me feel perfectly at home. So this gets my recommendation by far above. Heck, this goes above anything, unless you want HD footage, and it will carry a GoPro. It's definitely strong enough because that 1500 battery is a good 150 grams more than my 4S 750. We're going to hang it up here. If you've noticed, I've been getting between 4 and 5 minutes of flight time, kind of ripping balls on it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So look down below. Stay tuned for a PSA. 1 second. All right. What a day, what a day, what a day. I'm going to put the fat and emphatic on this one. I have seen several people recently who purchased this quadcopter. It's come across a few times because if you have affiliate links, you can tell that people buy things and blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to say, this quad is the X220. It's just a PSA, by the way. PSA. This is me talking to you because I am a cheapskate. And I don't want people to waste their money. This quad, let's just be frank and honest. In the year 2016, this quad, fantastic. It flew great. Flew amazingly well. This particular one. It had 20 amp ESCs, an F3 flight controller, a 3S battery. It could fly 4S. And it came with a remote. And it was great. I loved it. It was heavy though, so that weighs over a pound. It has craptastical props that would break. That one's not even tightened out. Neither's that one. Yeah, so it had props that would break. It's heavy. The good part about it's the frame. And do you know why I say the frame's good? Because I still got it. All right, I still got it. I don't have the same motors because those motors are weak. A couple of crashes, they're done. I don't have the same flight controller because it's an F3 and nobody flies an F3 right now. F4s or Betaflight 4 doesn't even, well, Betaflight 4 supports F3s, but it's the last one. I don't have, I do have the original VTX. It's not bad. And I don't have the original camera because it's crap. Actually, the camera is what hindered me from flying for so long. So for my PSA today, I'm going to say, drop this quad. Do not buy this thing. Even if you just get the quad itself, $130. I'm not talking about Eachine quality. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm saying it's $130 for a 5-inch crap quad. See, this one, $20 extra, $30 extra. If there are no coupons, and there are always coupons, so believe me, $30 extra. This is a far superior quad. That one's expensive, so no. Let's see. So just to give you an idea, these are just literally I clicked on FPV racing drones. Do I think the Eachine's good? I think it's better than this. I think the Tiny Hawk is better. The T-Rose 79 is actually really good, 3-inch, really good. This one is the one I'm talking about today. And let's see. I'm just going down the list here. The HV version, hell no. Hell no. Nobody's run 6-volt 6S on that and not flipped out of doom. HD, this one comes, it's that HD 2S quad. Comes with a freaking Cinewhoop. It's great. I think it's better. The 349 regular version, $5 more. I will tell you flat out. If you were to ask me today, do I buy this quad or do I buy this quad? I'm spending the extra $10. This quad is phenomenal. It's 3 inches and great. This one, great quad, $109. You have to build it yourself. That might sound like a bad thing. It's not. Good motors, good 30 amp ESC, good flight controller. I'm not a fan of these, but the point I'm trying to make, it's 2019. Friends do not let friends buy crappy quads anymore. Don't do it. The TS130, this thing, fantastic. Fantastic. Same price, $129. It's a 3-inch. Baby Hawk, the Racer R, it's much smaller quad. That is a fantastic machine. This one even. Okay. Here's a good one. This one. A friend would let a friend buy this. 35 amp. 225, 600 milliwatt VTX, 119, not on sale. Not on sale. And 40 amp, 2 to 5S with an MPU 6000. So this one, heck, here you go. If someone said, hey, what do you buy? This one, again, own receiver, or you can get bind and fly, whatever. But yeah, plug and play version. Spend another $10. You're at the exact same price. I guarantee you, if you were to give me this or this in 2019, it's going to be better. Like, it's phenomenal. Anyway, 2019, my PSA for today: friends don't let friends buy this machine. I know this because I have it. It is a fantastic machine for 2016, not 2019. 3 years have passed, and I can't tell you how many advancements there are, but friends don't let friends buy the Eachine Wizard. Now, we're going to jump over to what I would buy and what I did buy. So this is the one I'm talking about today. $349, 3-inch, $149. So that is, yeah, $20 more than this one, and worlds apart. It's a 3-inch though, I have to say. 3-inch, I love the 3-inch. They are faster, they're better. I'm just bar nunning it, they're better. Like, let's just be honest. So yeah, if someone said, oh, I want the Wizard, I love the Wizard in 2016. Let's put it in context. 2019, same. I mean, we're talking $20 difference. Phenomenal.